gonna change the world? Are you gonna be the change, or are you gonna wait for change to rearrange?
Join me in thanking Aviva and all of the other speakers and our event host. The reason for the season, it's a really great crop. I've been told it's the seeds of change. And when I first heard about hemp, it was a few years ago, and I thought that it was codswallop and rubbish. And I actually set out to prove hippies wrong. So I was like, oh, hemp could save this, and it could save that, and it could save the other thing. But if we stopped acting so sensationalized, then maybe people would listen, and we could actually move forward with one thing. And my one focus was hemp for biodiesel. Actually, when you work in the oil and gas industry and you're an outspoken activist of hemp, they don't like you all that much anymore. But that's okay, because we still have hemp. So Aviva asked me to be here because the event is about hemping out the toxins. And for the last 3 years, my daughter who's here, Lainey, with me, I have my fiance visiting from California, and Nikki, her friend. So we're really happy to be here. This is the biggest event that I've seen about hemp. And when I first got started in hemp, I thought that it would be a really, really great idea to use it as a biofuel energy input. Because for the last 20 years, I've worked to help companies drill deeper, extract more. That's both with water and with petroleum. So, sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. I don't really know what I was doing, but now I do. And now it's time to fix it up. And so I live in Peachtree City, Georgia, and that's on a little bitty river known as the Flint. It's in the Flint River Basin. Has anybody ever heard of the Flint River?
Yeah.
Really? Because there was this initiative here in Atlanta called Finding the Flint, and evidently they had trouble locating the Flint. And I thought, how is this? And you know, the way that they have trouble locating the Flint is because it's underneath, it's like headwaters are underneath 6 miles of impermeable concrete. So there's that. And then we have all these storm water initiatives. And actually, for the last 3 years, I've served on the Flint River Basin Advisory Council to the Metro North Georgia Water Planning District. And I got really excited when I first showed up, and then became the chairperson. And I was kind of a lousy chairperson because I didn't really like showing up because we weren't doing anything. And I kind of like to do stuff. And the reason why I wanted to do something with that river is because my daughter bathes in water that comes out of our faucet in that river. And I was kind of concerned when I heard that Florida was suing us. Our friends. I mean, I've got friends. Everybody heard of Florida? You've heard of Florida, right? Okay. And it's just south of us. And so I thought Florida and Georgia were friends. Like, there's bands and stuff. They're like Florida-Georgia line or something. But the actual bottom line between Florida and Georgia is that Florida's suing us for water quality and supply issues on the Flint River. So moral to the story is, if you want to be an inland waterway, do not call yourself the Flint if you're in the United States of America. Our Flint River is not just polluted by everything that hits those jetways, Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. It's also polluted, all right, it's gross. You guys ready for this? Not the kind of girl you brush under a rug. Fecal material. Fecal material, because along the banks of the Flint River, there's a lot of aging septic systems. You guys rolling with me here? Yeah, and then that water comes down, we get all this rain, and oh, glorious rain. Thank you so much for coming and blessing us with your presence. Holy crap, what's that? Is it a tire that's being taken down into our stormwater drains? No bother, I don't know about you guys, I just got my biannual stormwater bill. I thought, I don't think I've impacted that many storms. Right? And then, so we got trees. There's a lot of different ways to handle this. You know, you can use some of the natural cycles, and we can plant trees there because they're great, because trees are amazing. But they're not illegal to plant. So I'm super stoked that there are people that are helping us get more trees planted. And I think in the meantime, because trees kind of take a minute to grow, but hemp doesn't. Hemp takes about 4 months to maturation, and I know that because I grew it, my farm in Colorado. And because of regulatory issues and family issues and all this good stuff, now I'm going to help you with your farms because I don't have my own farm anymore. So the reason why I'm talking about hemp and fecal material in the Flint River Basin is because hemp is phytoremediative. And phytoremediation is a big old fancy word that's used to describe a process, basically a plant that's planted in the soil, and it leaves the soil better than it found it. So I can do by a variety of means. It can be a nitrogen fixer, it can pull heavy metals out of the soil, and hemp actually does that. I know, who knew? I was like, oh, if these hippies would just stop talking like this. Like, they were right. They were right. It might not be able to save the entire planet, but I can tell you for sure it will allow for us to pick some of the lowest lying fruit that we face as a shared humanity moving forward. So phytoremediation is not the only thing that it can do, because then there's this other really neat thing called bioremediation. And I wasn't going to talk about bioremediation today because everything was about hemp, about the toxins, and I kind of was thinking about soil toxicity. But hemp can also serve us to clean up water. So if we put it in the ground and it absorbs all the nasties that we don't really want in the ground, and then if we take this hemp herd business that Aviva was talking about with the hemp bricks and stuff, if you pulverize hemp just a little bit more, and then just a little bit more, and then just a little bit more, you come up with a material called hemp LCM. And lost circulation material or hemp lost collection material. And sometimes they use it as it's like a hockey puck that they'll as a sprinkling over top of a body of water. And there have been quite a few studies done on it and its efficacy on oil spills. And if we just take this like super pulverized hemp LCM, and it's just that herd, it's just been broken down and broken down and broken down and broken down. It still contains amazing amounts of microbes. I know that Ted spoke earlier about it being antibacterial, and then we referenced like we're gonna wear our hemp shirts for like 3 or 4 days. I don't know if you guys are into that. That's cool. But it can also be antibacterial and antibiotic when I'm half hippie, so sometimes I don't charge. Anyway, okay. So because these little creatures that live inside of the hemp stalk, it's by the way the longest, strongest fiber on the planet. And when we break it up, those little microbes, they don't go away. And when we take a very, very, very fine grade sprinkling of it and sprinkle it on top of the water that's been impacted by things like oil spills, all those little creatures, they eat that stuff up. It's like the ultimate in sustainability. And sustainability used to be that you would take somebody's output, somebody's waste product, and then use it as somebody else's input. But now we're just saying, oh, sustainable so we can continue. But I was in Australia when they were having the first sustainability conferences, like in 2005, 2006, and that's not what it was about. But I'm glad that we're talking about it now. So here's the problem, though. We can't grow it. Not meaningfully. I'm actually, I thought about like this whole, the kids taught me something, chaotic good. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do some chaotic good. I'm going to make some noise. I'm going to make some trouble. I was like, I'm going to bring some hemp seeds and I'm going to put them in a solo cup. Get
Outstanding agreement to honor and respect cannabis. It's a plant for you, free to be planted, harvested and processed by I break any pest contract owner unbeknownst to me.
Have us wave to Commissioner Bubba McDonald, who's right across the street from us. Give him a big wave.
There's little pellets. Wondering if you had stress because you live near the coal plant. Not sure if y'all noticed, but at Waller's Coffee Shop at our hemp event, a sunflower showed itself as growing, which is an amazing sign once again, along with the Dearborn Animal Hospital. The Sunflower Project is being validated to clean up the toxins from the earth and use hemp products and phytoremediation. Sunflowers phytoremediate as well. Those accountable for putting this waste in our ground. Though we appreciate gas, electricity, to our choices we're bound. Solar and wind are both valuable choices now.
Oh my gosh, look who it is!
We can stay healthy without store of pure resources.
Holy
Let's
moly.
unite
The sunflower
our light.
has flowered. This is the most beautiful sunflower I've ever seen in my whole life. It is a sign. It's almost like it's a puppet. It's almost like it's not real. It's like, are you real?
There's a power plant too that pulls toxins right out.